I wanted to kind of speak from the heart a little bit about my sense of the military and education. And all of you wouldn't be here today if you weren't interested in that, if you weren't enrolled, if you didn't think that the part of education that you're going through right now was going to be important to you. So, Nan mentioned that we were raised in a military family. My father did not get his degree until he was in his late 40s when he went back to school in San Antonio. So he left football. He was a professional football player with the Cleveland Rams, left football to go join the Army Air Corps, and then fought in World War II and went on to have a full career in the United States Air Force. But he recognized the value of education. And as Nan mentioned, our mother was an educator, and I can tell you my whole life, she was the one who taught us good English. She made sure that what we did was done correctly. She understood good order and discipline in the classroom. She understood good order and discipline in the house. And my dad understood the need for a college education. And so after 26 plus years of being in the military without ever having a degree, he went back to school. And it was not easy. He had a job going on. He had to go to night school for many years, but he wanted that degree. And he got it, and then as Nan said, went on to get a master's degree after that. So I was raised by the Greatest Generation. If you look back on the Greatest Generation and the GI Bill that fundamentally changed how the United States looked after World War II. So when the GI Bill came into effect, you had millions of GIs coming back. Almost 8 million GIs after the war took advantage of the GI Bill. It changed everything about the United States of America, everything, because they came back and they were able to go get a college degree or go get a technical degree and put that back to use in society. So when you look at the GI Bill across its history, it's absolutely phenomenal. And of course today, I'm sure most of the veterans out here are on the GI Bill. But I've got kind of three different lenses that I look at education through. So again, I was growing up, so the Greatest Generation really kind of helped me get going, and I saw the value of the education piece through my father and others. But when I came into the SEAL teams in 1977, over 75% of my year group, the officers that were part of my year group in 1977, were prior enlisted. They had all been enlisted, gone to school, got their degree, and came into the SEAL teams. And they raised me. So I was a young pup coming right out of the University of Texas. These were seasoned veterans, Vietnam veterans from the SEAL community who got their degree to become officers so frankly they could train and educate an entire new generation of SEALs. And so I was raised with those guys until the Vietnam generation eventually retired. Now, as 9/11 happened, I watched this new generation of young men and women step up and volunteer to be in the military. And today, most of those folks that are staying in the military are trying to get an education through the military benefit, through the military system, or they have gotten out and have elected to pursue their education through the GI Bill. So, three different lenses. But in every case, whether it was the Greatest Generation of the World War II, whether it was the Vietnam generation, or whether it was the 9/11 generation, you see the value of education. So today, just, off the top of my head, I know that a college degree will get you $18,000 more a year than those folks that only graduated from high school. And that's as a starting salary. So the group between the ages of 25 and 30, if you get a college degree, you will go into the workforce at almost $18,000 higher than your high school counterparts. And that's for starters. Frankly, it goes exponential from there. Your earning power, your understanding of the world, everything about you will change with a college degree. When you look at the folks in the military that got a college degree that went on to do things, in terms of the GI Bill, in terms of how they valued education, Senator Bob Dole, Senator Glenn, John Glenn, Supreme Court justices, Clint Eastwood, people that served time in the military understood the value of an education. And today I will tell you, I have an opportunity to talk frequently with CEOs. In fact, just this week, Nan mentioned, I had an opportunity up in Washington, D.C. to be with the business executives for national security, BENS they call it, Business Executives for National Security. And I was making some remarks that evening to the BENS executives, and my point to them was pretty simple. You have the opportunity to hire veterans. And let me tell you what you're going to get when you hire a veteran. you are going to get somebody with incredible life experience. I was talking to the young man in the back who was a double amputee from his time in Baghdad. Let me tell you, if you don't think that's a life experience that transitions to the workforce, you're mistaken. It absolutely, positively is. So you will get veterans that come in, wounded or not, that will have life experiences that will pale in comparison to their civilian counterparts, or their civilian counterparts' experience will pale in comparison to that. So they have life experience. They have leadership skills. From the time you enter the Army, Navy, Air Force, or Marine Corps, as an enlisted individual, as an officer, that's the first thing they teach you, is leadership. A couple of years back, West Point, the United States Military Academy, was voted the #1 school in the nation for leadership. Because the veterans that came back to teach at West Point were teaching what they'd learned from their time in Iraq and Afghanistan, and they were growing this young corps of officers to be American leaders. You learn leadership, whether it's enlisted leadership as an NCO or officer leadership. That is a talent that industry wants. You are self-sufficient. You are disciplined. You come in with a work ethic. All of these will be great for you as you enter the workforce, particularly if you have a degree. But even if you don't, I will tell you again, my lesson to the business executives was, I guarantee you, I absolutely guarantee you, if you hire a veteran, your workforce will be better off for it. Because they will show up and they will make a difference. And the people around them will be inspired by these veterans. They will be inspired by the stories like Joshua told. And oh, by the way, I can tell you, Joshua looks a hell of a lot better now than he did when he was my jock NCO. He tucked in his shirt. But again, just to tell a little bit of the story about Joshua, because, I mean, this is kind of the American success story that applies to everybody out here. You know, he comes in, he goes over to Afghanistan, goes over to Iraq, he serves as the JOC is the Joint Operations Center. So this is really the hub of all the activity that goes on in the Special Operations community. And as an NCO, a non-commissioned officer, his job is frankly to make sure officers like me understand what's going on. He's got to manage everything in the JOC. That's what the JOC NCO does. He's in charge of what's up on the screen, what's being chatted, making sure that, again, the officers making the decisions and the senior NCOs making the decisions have an understanding of what's happening. Where do you get that kind of experience? You get that kind of experience being in the military. Will that kind of experience transition? Will that relay over to a great job, you know, outside the military? Of course it will. Of course it will. And Joshua is one of, you know, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of veterans that will be entering the workforce here in the next decade. So you bet education is important. You know, I will tell you, I got a lot out of my time here at the university. In addition to getting a degree in journalism, and people kind of laughed at that initially. They said, "My gosh, you know, you're going to go in and you're going to be a, you know, you're going to have this degree in journalism. Is that marketable in the military?" And I said, you know, what you have to learn to do in the military is you need to learn to be able to convey your ideas. And, you know, journalism allowed me to do that, kind of short, succinct, and frankly, as I have, you know, applied my trade in the military, that's been very, very helpful. Of course, education has done a number of things for me. It also allowed me to meet my wife, Georgianne, here at the University of Texas, which has paid 36 years of dividends. And that's been terrific. So, again, I wanted to thank ACC and the National American University for sponsoring this fabulous program. Again, I will tell you, as veterans, you need to understand what your veterans benefits are out there. You need to understand what your educational benefits are. You need to understand what the websites are that can lead you there. If you're enrolled in either of these two institutions, you probably know what they are. But if you're interested in enrolling, make sure you contact your Veterans Administration to find out all the benefits that are out there, because frankly, they're terrific. You as a workforce are going to change the United States of America. You are going to fundamentally change how we do everything because you are getting an education. And I could not be prouder of you and could not be proud of the two institutions that are supporting you to do that.